So the Masons today, their premier symbol is a double-headed eagle. So we have a double-headed, all-seeing eye on one side of our Great Seal, which they put in there with a pyramid and the all-seeing eye of Horus, the Egyptian sun god, the sun, S-O-N, of Osiris, and then the other side being the eagle. And yet even the eagle is bastardized by the Illuminati in its many forms. And if you go then visit the Rockefeller estate in Upper New York, Calcutta it's called, I have a picture of it, you'll see the great eagle, the imperial eagle, atop his estate, in his home. He has the huge eagle. If you visit the Fed Reserve building, where Mr. Ben Bernanke works, head of the Fed Reserve, you're going to see a very simple adornment, only the great eagle. So again, they use many things. Now back to this owl. Athena was the goddess of wisdom, and the owl is the symbol of her wisdom. It's a night wisdom. It's a black magic wisdom. The owl is the killer of night, and it can see. It's like an all-seeing eye. And again, Athena, one of her representations is atop the statue atop the Capitol building. And thus, right below her, way deep below on the earth in the basement, is the crypt that they secretly built there. Now, if not only that, but behind the Capitol, and right, actually in the street design of Washington, D.C., that whole area, if you look at it, and I have a picture of the street layout, you will see the owl. The owl is actually in the street configuration.
Okay, Tex, stay there. Let's get into the layout of D.C. after this quick break. 1 minute break, back with Tex Mars in just a moment with us for a whole other hour. We're going to take some calls later. We're going through his new book. We'll be right back. PrisonPlanet.com.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
I am just biting my lip here because Tex brings up so many points, and then I think about the hundreds of things I've learned separately when he's talking about something, and I know he's so right on. I'm just like biting my lip here, not wanting to interrupt because I want to pump him for all the info I can. There is so much in his new book that I didn't know. And the more I learn, the more I learn that I don't know that much. But I thought I knew it all about architecture and all the occultism and the things they've done. But when you really start reading this book and start looking around you, it is everywhere. In fact, here's an example. I read junk science fiction sometimes, not very often. I'm so busy. And I was at my parents' house about a week ago, and my dad reads a lot of science fiction. And there was this book called The Worthing Saga. And I picked it up. He said, yeah, I've read it. You can have that. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. And it shows a guy on the cover. I'm going to put this on screen for people. And put it up there on screen for folks that are watching on PrisonPlanet.tv. And he's encased in something that is a pyramid. And then below him in blue is a pyramid with a white capstone. And then I started looking around at all the other science fiction books I have. This is what Alan Watt talks about, and it's all got Illuminati stuff on the book covers. And you start looking, it is literally everywhere. Tex, how many adherents to this Babylon mystery religion? Do you have any idea what the percentage is?
Well, of course, there are millions who are involved in various occult things, and many of them are just dumb people, and independently not involved in these secret societies and cults. But as in terms of the more hideous New World Order elite, I'm going just to say that there's probably no more than 10,000 around the globe that really know the plan and are accomplishing what they call the great work of the Illuminati, which is to regenerate mankind, to destroy the world that is, and build a new world made up of stone and steel and glass, because of the visions they receive from demonic spirits. So maybe 10,000. In the United States, probably only about 1,000 that really are deep into this. in various areas.
Now, I want to stop you right there, because that's earth-shattering, and that is the facts, and I've been to Bohemian Grove. I've covered it. I've been to London and D.C. I've seen the architecture. I've been to Latin America and seen it. There is no doubt that the world's controllers do believe they're channeling angels. Space aliens is the more modern thing they say they're channeling. And they are telling them what to do. They're telling them genetic engineer and destroy the old, bring in the new. They're telling them start World War III. They're telling them kill these children, do these medical experiments. I mean, even, whether you believe it or not, folks, they believe it. I mean, could it be more dangerous that we have these world leaders in control of the nuclear weapons, as you said earlier, and they are completely a bunch of mumbling nutcases? I mean, the mainstream British news reports Tony Blair flops around on the ground every morning, channeling the, quote, spirit of light. I mean,
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And you know, I have a picture in the Mysterious Monuments of the European Union's modern-day headquarters. This is a Tower of Babel. In fact, it actually is designed as an unfinished Tower of Babel. And the national anthem of the European Union is devoted to the great goddess of magic and fire. You can find it on page 489, 490 to 491 of my book. Now, and by the way, I also show a picture of, they have a statue in front of the European Union headquarters of a great goddess, and she's holding up in her hand the euro. And below her are people like, they're cowering. They're supine and they're cowering beneath her. The whole of humanity is cowering. And here is the great goddess. We get back to the same goddess they worshipped at the Bohemian Grove. The streets of Washington, D.C. are laid out in one place as a great owl. I have a picture of also even the landscaping in the pool area of the DuPont estate.
Hold on, Texe. Texe, please continue. I mean, take some time on Washington, D.C. Take some time on DuPont. It's not just Washington. Again, as you said, it's the architecture of all their homes. Then you get into Maurice Strong and the UN. I mean, God help us. We literally have a bunch of crazy globalists who say in their own biological diversity assessments at the UN that they want to bring back human sacrifice. I mean, that's official UN policy. Please continue.
It is. These people are believers in the great possibility of death. Remember, during the French Revolution, they said death is easy. Death is not really death. It's just an eternal sleep. In the state of Florida, some illuminist visionaries are planning to build a new Great Pyramid. It is going to be a crypt where it will contain the ashes of 500,000 dead people. But then there's the sex cult nature. A pyramid was considered by the ancients literally as a sign of resurrection, which, of course, the sex cult has translated to erection. So that's the meaning of the phallic sex architecture of the Illuminati, which is plentiful, believe me. But back to this death thing. Remember we mentioned the tomb of Mausolus? That is built atop the Standard Oil Rockefeller building in New York? Well, I found another building there built with the same tomb of Mausolus atop it. It's the Bankers Trust building. Bankers Trust. It's owned by the wealthy billionaire Reichman family of Canada. So here again, the Illuminists. By the way, there's a place called the City Tower in Tel Aviv. There's another building in Seattle called the L.C. Smith Tower. They also have this thing similar to the tomb of Mausolus. So these people are fascinated with death. And many of their modern buildings, remember the tomb of the Order of Skull and Bones in New Haven, Connecticut, are actually replicas of tombs. I believe this is the Congregation of the Dead, Alex.
Well, that's their real name their real name is the Order of Death, and that's what the SS internal name was the Order of Death. And it, of course, goes back to the Teutonic Knights festooning themselves with a skull and crossbones. In World War I, the field marshals wore big skulls on their hats. This is the Legion of Death.
It is. And they worship Satan in various, let's just say, images that are deceptive. For example, if you visit the Astor estate, I show you a building on their estate, one of the richest families in New York. The Astros have the dragon.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
There is no way in 2 hours or in 10 hours or in 100 hours we can cover everything. Texe Mars has been studying this for decade upon decade. He has put together the amazing new book. We've got a live camera shot of the book I'm holding here. With a Catholic priest with an all-seeing eye of the Illuminati with sun rays coming out behind him. He's got Protestant churches with the same thing. Their higher-level priests and pastors know exactly what they're part of. What is the world they're building? What do they plan to do to us? That's coming up. Then at the bottom of the hour, we'll be taking your calls at 1-800-259-9231. I want to challenge all of you to purchase Mysterious Monuments, Encyclopedia of Secret Illuminati Designs, Masonic Architecture, and Occult